visiting two different, I guess you want to call them local fish shops in my area. I'm visiting one that specializes in corals. It's called Queen City Corals. That's actually where we're heading right now. And then after that, if everything goes as planned, we're going to be visiting another place called Nemo's Reef. That's also in my local area. And that's where we're going to be getting our fish. I also want to point out that I've got the temperature in the car set to exactly 78 degrees. For some reason, my car doesn't do odd numbers, which, believe it or not, I actually really appreciate. But even though I'm suffering a little bit in the 78 degrees, you know what? That's the exact temperature of the aquarium that we're going to be putting all of this livestock back into, isn't it? It actually couldn't be better weather. I can't say it. Weather is actually kind of good, but it actually couldn't be better weather for saltwater fish and coral shopping. Did I say we were going to Queen City Corals? Well, if I didn't, that's where we're going. Queen City Corals, right back there. And if I haven't mentioned what Queen City means, I live in, well, all of this is actually a place called Mint Hill, North Carolina, but you know, it's all basically Charlotte. Whoa. Hello. All right, let me get my bearings for a second. All right, entering the coral room. It's obviously going to be very blue. I'm a little overwhelmed, to be honest, at the moment. This kind of stuff I've never been a big fan of, this frog spawn and stuff. To be honest with you, it's basically because I think it grows too fast and it grows, I don't know, it just starts to look like it takes over everything. That's Graham. What's your name? Kevin. Now we know. Let's go back to looking at corals. Ooh, that one right in there. These ones right here, I think they're called milliporas. I think they're one of my favorites. So I'm definitely going to be picking up something. I think that's an acropora. I'm definitely going to be picking up at least a few things from that tank. Probably some zoas and stuff from back here. Some more milliporas. Ooh, I like that acropora right there. See that? I've kind of taken in some of what I want. I know I want to be in this tank a lot. I know I want to get some zoanthids and some things like that. So I'm gonna put you away for a little bit. I'm gonna walk around here and actually be a normal person for a minute and start to decide. I don't know, I'm gonna start to put together a little shopping list. Where was it? And then R. I have to get either Graham or Kevin and start bagging some of this stuff up. I just gotta point it and be done, or I'm gonna be in here all day trying to take pictures and trying to remember and all that stuff. So I'll give you guys another shot, probably on the way, I don't know, either on the way out or in my car or something like that once we've actually boxed everything up. But I'm really gonna surprise you. And don't worry, you're gonna see him in the tank. You're gonna see all the goodness later. Kevin said I could film them heat sealing. Oh, actually, that's cool. I've actually never seen that. Anyways, coral's getting bagged up. We're almost done. All bagged up. Heat sealed. Picked everything out. I don't even remember what I got, but I'm sure it's great. It's a good start anyways. Of Queen City corals. Right behind me, I got my bag of, corals, obviously. Let's see if my car automatically opens for me. Oh, it's already open. Ugh. Now let's get on to the next store. If I didn't mention it already, it's called Nemo's Reef. Hey Google, take me to Nemo's Reef. Pro tip, I stuck the little baggie up the side so it keeps it from jiggling around in there too much. Here we are at our next destination. Still a rainy day. I've got Nemo's Reef right behind me. Now this place I'm a little bit more specific on what I actually want to get. This is the place where I'm going to get the actual fish for our reef tank. I kind of have in my head what I want. I want to get a pair of some sort of awesome clownfish. So hopefully we can find that in Nemo's Reef back there. I want to get a 6-line wrasse just because I've had 6-line wrasses before and I've always loved them. And what was the last one I wanted to get? Oh yeah, the last one was going to be my favorite. And it's going to be a Mandarin Goby. Now that's going to be our challenging fish. Whoa. even more. Whoa. See that one right in there? If the fish would get out of the way. I actually meant to get some of that grassy looking stuff at the last place, so I'll probably pick some of that up here. But otherwise, what we're really here for is not these awesome corals. It's all fresh water. We got more fresh water. All right, now we're getting to some salt water. Obviously something like that is too big. I did say I was looking for a pair of really cool clownfish. It doesn't look like a pair. He's pretty cool. I'd like to find one without any orange at all, to be honest. He's getting a little closer. Maybe if we can't find a pair. Oh, look at these ones down here. They look a little big though. Some of these little guys down here, these little white and red ones would be cool. Is that one of the mandarins that we're gonna get right back there? The store is pretty overwhelming, and everywhere I look, I keep seeing things that I want. All right, so I've come to my conclusion. I couldn't find a pair of clowns. And honestly, I wanted like black and white clowns, but I don't know, I kind of fell in love with this Longfin guy right here, so we're gonna get him. The other ones you're probably not gonna be able to see too well. But we've got, right in here, we've got a psychedelic Mandarin that we're getting. And then this little 6 Line Wrasse swimming around in there. I'm gonna have to get some other like frozen foods and that kind of stuff. And I'm also gonna try and sneak you a shot. I see him, I've already seen him here. Here he is. I told him I said I'd sneak up on you, man. This is Harley. It's just a quick video. This is the guy that sold me the tank. And I'm forever indebted to Harley back there. It was a great sale. He gave me a lot of little extras. I've already kind of gone through all of the extras and everything in the previous videos. That's the man right back there. I did get a little piece of, let me show you. I don't think I put it on camera, but I got a little piece of what's called GSP, or actually I don't think I grabbed it yet. I'm gonna get a piece of that old GSP. All right, there we go. We got our fish. We're done with Nemo's Reef. Harley saying goodbye. Everyone's saying goodbye. Everyone's nice. I'll see you guys again. I don't want to smack the bag with the door with my bag. How do you say procured? All right, we've procured our corals at Queen City Corals, amazing little store. We've procured our fish, although a little bit different than what I was going for, probably going to be perfect in the end anyways, from Nemo's Reef. That was our last stop. That was a lot of fun. We got to meet Harley, who actually sold us the whole system. That was a lot of fun. I've got all my fish, I've got all my corals stuffed in the cooler down there. Turns out I didn't really need the cooler. It's not a very hot day, but you know, nonetheless. I got a couple other things from Nemo's Reef. I figured we might as well go through together while we're, I don't know, while I'm driving home bored, getting ready to actually add the new life to our tank, of course. I've got some mysis shrimp. Mysis shrimp is gonna be stuff that the fish eat. We've got some cyclopods, again, more food for the fishes. I've also got some flake foods and some of that stuff at home, so we don't have to worry about that. I mentioned in the store that Mandarin fish, that psychedelic Mandarin that we picked up, is going to be one of the more difficult fishes to keep. And the reason that they're more difficult is because they tend to only like to eat live food. So I got some of these real oceanic eggs. One of the guys in Nemo's Reef told me that he's had some pretty good success getting them on at least some sort of pre-prepared food by using this. So I'm gonna give that a try as well. Let's see, we've got tiger pods. Tiger pods, again, for the psychedelic Mandarin. I'm basically just gonna let this come up to the tank temperature. I'm gonna dump this whole bottle in the tank. You'll see that actually before the end of this video. And then last but not least, I've got one more little goodie. This one is for the corals. And this is just some, it's called Phyto Feast. It's, I don't know, it's phytoplankton. Corals love it. The guy at the fish store, Harley, actually told me to go easy on this stuff. Don't go too crazy. How you doing, boys? You make it in there? Okay, so we're finally back home. We're finally back in front of the reef tank. And now what we gotta do is take our livestock out of the cooler here, examine what we got, take stock of everything we got. I don't know, it's all a little bit of a blur to me already. And you know, then of course we got to get everything acclimated to its new environment back there. I'm actually going to do what's called drip acclimating these to the new system. I'm going to use this bucket right here. The corals will go through in a little bit. I'm not actually going to drip acclimate those. I'll talk about that in just a second. Starting right here, we've got our 6 Line Wrasse. I'm not going to let you stare at the bag too long, guys, because you can't really see them too well through here. Off to the bucket. Oops. We got 2 bags. Okay. All right, and there goes the 6 line into the bucket. Next up, we've got what's called a chocolate longfin mocha clownfish. I originally wanted black clownfish. If you know me at all, you know I love things that are black and white. I didn't really have a good match. And this guy's long fins just started sort of speaking to me at the store. He's a psychedelic Mandarin. And no, I don't just like him because he's got psychedelic in his name. Get in there too. Now some other things I'm going to throw into the bucket is our cleanup crew, or at least the ones I've started with. I've got some asteroid snails, some nerite snails, and some, what's the other thing? Oh yeah, just the easiest one, the hermit crabs. Everything's swimming around in the bucket here. Now, we're not just going to leave them in the bucket. We've got to drip acclimate these things. Now what does drip acclimate or acclimate, if I was saying it correctly? I'm simply going to take some of this soft airline tubing. I'm going to tie a little knot in the end. We'll tighten this knot in just a minute to determine the drip rate that's going to be coming out of our drip line here. So for starters, I just want to kind of shove some of this through this little slot here so that it holds in place. That's really the only. Over here on the business end, we're going to start sucking the salt water. And as soon as it starts coming, we're going to put it down in a bucket. I'll try and change the view, but we want to tighten this knot really quick so that it's just like a drip, drip, drip. I'm not going to put them in a bucket. I'm not going to drip acclimate them. A lot of people will dip their corals in like some sort of a cleaner or something like that. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I checked on the website for Queen City corals, and the water parameters in my reef tank right back there match the water in the bags that these corals are living in right now pretty much exactly. I'm not exactly sure what any of these are, guys. So I'm not going to be talking about the names. These Queen City corals do come pretty coolly packed. And by coolly, I mean, did you see that heat pressing that Kevin was doing back at the shop? This one right here is my favorite of the bunch. It's my big buy. This is the one that cost me the most money just because it's like the biggest, it's the biggest grouping of these little corals. And this is some sort of a millipora. But for now, we're just going to, we'll just pop them down in the sand to wait there for a minute until we can decide what we're going to do with all of these. This one right here is one of 3 what's called zoanthids that I bought. And these ones right here, these are what's called SPS. These are stony corals. I got about 5 of these. I love SPS. Now normally people would grow things like zoanthids and mushrooms like I'm going to have in the reef back there. They would grow them separately because you want to have a little bit more, you want to have more nutrients in the tank. You want to have a little bit dirtier water for those type of things. But this is a mixed reef. I'm not trying to make it as easy as I can on myself. And I love SPS, I love zoanthids, I love mushrooms. So we're going to do a little bit of them all in there. So I've got all of our little frag plugs, man. You go and you pick out all sorts of stuff, and once you finally get it into your tank, it sure doesn't look like much, does it? You can already start to see a little bit of the color popping into this one. I'm sure this camera is not really doing these things justice in real life, but you can already see some of the colors starting to pop out of these things. Now, what I would have done in the past is I would have waited. I would have left these things on the sand bed for quite some time. And the lazy side of me is honestly a little tempted to do that right now. But if I've learned anything in my past years of reef keeping, if I've learned anything from diving into this hobby before, it's that the best thing you can do for your reef tank is maintain stability, number 1, and number 2, just sort of set it and forget it. I don't want to be moving corals all over the tank. I don't want to be you know, ninny picking everything and moving it from this spot to that spot. I don't want to say, oh, that coral right there might do good better over there, so let's move them there. Or then maybe let's move them over there, or maybe we'll try over there under the little cave. It becomes very easy when you're dealing with this sort of stuff to just sort of, you know, ninny pick everything and want to move everything around and constantly be changing things. But I'm gonna try a different approach with this reef tank. I'm gonna try to just sort of set it and forget it. And on this video, we're actually gonna be gluing those corals into place. In fact, while we wait for the fish to finish acclimating, I think it would be the perfect thing to do. Maybe let's start with that one right back there, that kind of brown looking one. It's got some black little polyps. I've got this coral because it's got like a really black look to it. And this is attached to what's called a frag plug. So basically it's got this big old pluggy looking thing on the bottom of it. I actually want to get rid of that. I couldn't find any frag cutters today, so I'm hoping that these snippers work pretty good. And that seems to work pretty good for me. Squeeze, can you see it coming out? It's just a little bit. Do more. I'm gonna squeeze like a pea amount. Is that a good way to describe it? Like a pea amount? A good amount. This is basically super glue gel. You don't want to get it on your hands or anything like that. So I think we've got to hold on for about 20 seconds. Should we actually count? 16, 15, 14, 3, 2, 1. What's gonna happen when I let go? Oh, I'm not sure if it's totally good. I was mounted in there, a couple of our stony corals back there, and I've still got a few left to go. I did want to show you one cool thing that was happening over here though. So remember I told you in the car that I bought these tiger pods or whatever they're called. Well, apparently they activate in when they come to room temperature. And look at them now, they're going crazy. They're swimming around in there. They can't wait to get eaten. Oh man, oh, got my gut on that one. It's kind of annoying how I have to wait like 30 seconds in between every single mounting. Hopefully I can do something fancy in the editing, but I know it's boring reef content right now. And now last but not least, our best of all, our best big stony. I think I'm gonna cut that, whatever that little tag thing or whatever it is. And I think I'm gonna kinda, I don't know, I've been eyeing that spot right in the back. I think if I just glue up these sides real good. Did I mention how much I hate squeezing this glue out? Oh man. So we've mounted all of the different little frag plugs to the rock in the reef back there. Let me try and give you a nice up close view of all of our little doodads. Hold on, I gotta center the camera. So on the right side of the tank, I'm gonna keep all of the what's called soft corals, the zoanthids, the mushrooms, the GSP that we got in here. And then on the right side, where I'm assuming is all of the flow, or at least more of the flow. You know, as this thing fills in, I'm probably just gonna start sticking stuff wherever there's a room for it. But for right now, I'm gonna keep the SPS on that side of the tank. And I don't know, I guess it's just a little bit of organization. Let's do a quick fish check. Fish are still doing good. Pretty tasty drip, salty, I had some myself. Anyways, there is one more thing we can do while we finish waiting on the fish to acclimate. It looks like these tiger pods are ready to go. So I was told to let them come to room temperature, crack the lid, and then literally just pour them in the tank. So that's what I'm gonna do. These guys are going in. Enjoy your new home, little tiny microscopic pods. I hope you become delicious food for our Mandarin Goby. All right, I would say that these fish have drip acclimated for long enough. It's been a little bit over an hour. The water volume has at least tripled, I would say. I don't know, you tell me what you think. Would you say the water volume has at least tripled? Who should we start with, the clown? The clown's the most traditional. Don't be running away from me. I see you. I could get both of you, but I'll do one at a time. You're both just excited to get in there, huh? All right, we'll go with you, Clowny. All right, It's only for a moment. Only for a moment. And there you go. Enjoy your new home, buddy. I think you fit right in. You actually have a lot more black on your fins than you looked like in the store. Try not to get mesmerized by the first fish that you put into your tank. You've got other fish waiting down in the bucket. I'm going for the 6 line. You seem to be an easy catch. Here we go. Okay. All right, and into the cave. Should I just get you with my hand? All right, there we go. There we go, buddy. All right. And there goes our psychedelic Mandarin. Look how colorful he is. Under these lights, man, you could not see that in the store, but look at this sucker. Ooh. He's looking nice. Okay, I've still got the rest of these snails and everything down here to put in there. And now that we've got all of our livestock in the reef, there is one more thing I want to do just as a precaution, you know, for our new fish. I'm okay with the temperature swing that's happening on this tank. I'm okay with not using these fans. I haven't actually heard them or seen them come on one time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it in lieu of putting the lid back on this tank. There we go. Okay. Snug as a bug. And now we've got a nice mesh lid on top of there, so our beautiful new fish don't jump out. You wouldn't want to jump out anyways, though, would you, buddy? Nah, you're probably just waiting for some food. You should already have plenty of food to be scrounging around in that sand bed. Hopefully you don't eat too much down there. The 6 line I just think looks cool. I think it adds a lot of interest, a lot of movement. I just kind of like the wrasse species. They're just interesting, you know? Can you see how those zoanthids are already starting to open up a little bit back there? Jeez, you just want to get in every shot, don't you? There's a lot of equipment we haven't even turned on this reef system back here. For instance, we haven't turned the skimmer on because we've been cycling the tank. We haven't turned the dosing pump on because we don't know how much to dose yet. We've got to decide how much of this 2-part bionic calcium and alkalinity solution that we're gonna actually need. Anyways, there's all sorts of things that I'm gonna have to do that I'm not gonna cover in this video, such as testing for the calcium, such as testing for the alkalinity. So if I take a test at 10 a.m. tomorrow, I'm gonna take another test at 10 a.m. the next day, and at 10 a.m. the next day, and consistently at 10 a.m. And the idea is to see how much this tank is actually using of the calcium and the alkalinity and all that stuff, so that we can start to play with some formulas in our head and decide how much of our dosing chemicals to actually put into this thing. And the best part of all of it is that this adventure doesn't end here. There's all sorts of things that we're gonna have to do on this reef, little tiny ecosystem behind us.